What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. For today's video, we're going to be checking out the Transformers Age of the Primes leader class Onyx Prime. Based on his appearance in the Covenant of Primus, this guy is one of the original 13, which alongside the 86 movie Megatron is a prime example as to why we are now entering an all-new golden age for Transformers. Recently, we've seen the Studio Series line outdoing some of the Takara Tomy masterpiece figures, and now we have the Age of the Primes, an entire toy line dedicated to the original 13, which up until fairly recently were all characters that were mostly unknown, with this guy being no exception. So as we whack up an image of his Covenant design, not only is he looking to be incredibly close, but also easily one of the most ambitious primes to be released. This guy fictionally is the Lord of the Beasts, with the ability to wield the Triptych Mask, which this time has been turned into a super unique helmet, which is unlike anything that we've seen design-wise from the previous primes. I've also got to mention that despite being known for his four-legged battle mode, even with just two, he is still imposing, with the proportions looking surprisingly good, especially for a character with chicken legs. And as we spin him around to the back, seeing as this guy fictionally has never transformed, it's really allowed the design team to solely focus on this mode, meaning that he's not only incredibly clean, but also completely filled in, which is honestly kind of surprising considering his size, and that Legacy Tigerhawk, who recently released at the exact same price point, was mostly hollowed out. I guess the only thing that isn't the best would be the placement of his skirt armor. Unfortunately, as soon as you begin moving it past the waist, it just looks ridiculous. With that being said though, I guess it's to allow him the ability to transform into his second mode. So firstly, take the mask and snap it into place, detach the beast head so that we can now take the legs and raise them up until the feet also snap into place. Swing the shoulders into the torso to allow the legs to slide down. You'll then take the torso and slide this back, spin the thighs and hinge these in. Take the shoulders and slide them back, with the heel spurs following closely behind. Slide the hips forward, then finally extend the wings. Here is Onyx Prime now fully transformed into his Centaur Mode, and as we again whack up an image of his original look, I think they came incredibly close. Front, side to back, he is such a faithful recreation of his design, with the battle mask in particular now looking to be super formidable. It's also pretty historic that he is one of the only mainline Transformers to ever transform into an actual Centaur, which to be honest makes him the only Prime that I've really bought into the idea of being this ancient mythological being that is supposed to predate most Cybertronians. The only part of the design that I don't think looks particularly great would be his shoulders. They do just seem to stick out too far, and I guess could have looked better had they been able to compress into the torso. But besides that, this without doubt is the best of the 13 released so far, and that's honestly kind of surprising, as I thought Megatronus would have been a tough act to follow. If it wasn't for the 86 movie Megatron, then this also might have just been the leader class of 2025, as from a design standpoint, with the exception of the upcoming Amalgams Prime, he is by far the most ambitious. Flying through the accessories, he really only includes two, the first being his staff and the second his towel. The spearhead is actually a reimagining of his ancient artifact, the Triptych Mask, which fictionally gives him the ability to see beyond just the physical realm. I guess kind of similar to the lenses that were included with Alchemist Prime. Imprinted onto the side is his own unique faction, which is something that we've been seeing throughout all of the artifacts released so far, which I'm guessing that once completed may be able to come together to form the Well of Sparks. His tail is also an incredibly interesting accessory, as in addition to being used mainly for his beast mode, it can also snap down the middle to form a full-blown crossbow, which is by far one of the most barbaric looking weapons that we've seen from the Age of the Primes. Then finally, in terms of weapon storage, both accessories can be snapped onto his back, with the towel even having its own unique slot for the robot mode. Diving into this guy's posability, not only visually is he super impressive, but also incredibly articulated. To begin with, the head is on a ball joint. This can look up, down, tilt side to side, and rotate left to right. The shoulders can kick forward, backwards, and completely out to the side. The biceps can spin, with the elbows being able to bend to 90. His hands can rotate, with the fingers also being articulated. The waist can spin side to side. The hips can kick forward, backwards, and completely out to the side. The thighs can rotate, with the knees being able to bend backwards. Then finally, the ankles can tilt inward. So, surprisingly, an incredibly dynamic figure. The only thing that I would really watch out for would be the knees, potentially loosening over time. But to really see the true power of this Prime, let's now put him through the pose test. Firing through some robot mode comparisons, up first is Megatronus the Fallen, who I really thought set the standard of a modern day leader class. But if I'm being completely honest, I think that standard may have just been exceeded by this guy. The legendary Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime, Leader Class Megatron, Voyager Class Primer Prime, the Transformers 1 Sentinel Prime, Deluxe Class Solus Prime, Alchemist Prime, Devastation Optimus Prime, then finally the 86 movie Bumblebee. Leading the way into this guy's transformation, despite having an insanely complex and detailed design, the transformation is actually incredibly straightforward. For the first step, take the head and slide this back, with the beast head folding up. Fully extend the chest plate to allow the beast head to snap into place. Fold open the hands and rotate them inward. The elbows will now click into place, with the shoulders now able to slide up. You'll then take the heel spur and snap this into the base of the foot, fold the knees back and the shins forward. Slide the hips to the front, snap the crossbow onto the back, then finally extend his wings. And that is the transformation now fully complete. Reigning dominion over the beasts, here is Onyx Prime now fully transformed into his beast mode, which, much like the previous primes, fictionally has never actually made an appearance, although I really like how the design seems to be pulling a lot of inspiration from Greek mythology by loosely basing it off a griffin. Front, side to back, despite being mostly made up of leftover robot parts, this is surprisingly an incredibly solid beast mode. And if we were to whack up an image of how Predaking appeared in the Transformers Prime TV show, I really wouldn't be surprised if in the future this could potentially become a pre-tool. Even the robot mode, despite needing some pretty drastic resculpting, does surprisingly share some vague similarities. The only part of the design though that they would absolutely need to retool would be the additional set of legs, which can hinge up to allow the shoulders to swing down with the biceps rotating to the side. At this point we can now fold the shoulders in and these legs out to the side. You'll then take the knee joints and fold them back, then finally rotate around at the thigh and swing in, to create a 6-legged beast mode, which to be completely honest is looking a little too cluttered. Instead, if you were to make use out of these tabs on his shoulders, then there is an additional way to keep them deployed, which I think looks much better. I guess you could also argue that it would have been cool had the hands from the robot mode actually been able to transform into a pair of claws, as in comparison to the back legs, they do look slightly weak from a design standpoint. Then finally, in terms of weapon storage, the mask and staff can be combined and then attached onto his back, I guess to create a full-blown ass missile for him to deploy when in battle. Flying through some beast mode comparisons, up first is Megatronus the Fallen, the Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime, Leader Class Megatron, Voyager Class Primer Prime, Deluxe Class Solus Prime, Alchemist Prime, Devastation Optimus Prime, then finally the 86 movie Bumblebee. So, wrapping up on this review for the Transformers Age of the Primes, Leader Class Onyx Prime. To be completely honest, I think he may just be my favourite of the 13 released so far. He looks incredible in both Robot and Centaur mode, and is easily the most ambitious that we've seen from this price point in a very long time. To kind of go back to my previous point, it really does seem like we are now heading into a new golden age for Transformers. The design team are now releasing figures that are so good that in the future, I really don't see how they'll ever improve. Recently, it really seems like Leader Class figures in particular are just becoming smaller and smaller, and I've got to say that it's great to finally get a figure that looks to be worth that $55 price tag. Even the Beast Mode, despite fictionally never making an appearance, is solid. I would love to get your thoughts on this guy. Be sure to sound off below and let me know. As always, I thank you all so much for watching, and until my next video, I'll see you then. Transform and roll out!